I have a breaking news. I have a breaking news. Today, the House passed.
I hate it. I hate it. I never like following our great First Lady.
Thank you, Chairman Smith, Chairman LaHood, Ranking Member Davis, and the House of Representatives for voting unanimously to lift America's foster children above partisan politics.
First Lady Melania Trump is suddenly dominating headlines after stepping into the spotlight during a high-profile White House appearance that instantly exploded across social media.
I have a breaking news. Today, the House passed the Fostering the Future Act. Thank you, Chairman Smith, Chairman LaHood, Ranking Member Davis, and the House of Representatives for voting unanimously to lift America's foster children above partisan politics. Senators, we have momentum.
The viral moment unfolded during the congressional picnic on the South Lawn of the White House, where President Donald Trump appeared alongside Melania as she publicly championed the Fostering the Future Act.
Now it's your turn to bring the Fostering the Future Act across the finish line. Let's support our next generation and swiftly get this to the President for his signature.
But while the event was meant to spotlight policy, the internet quickly turned its attention somewhere else entirely. Clips of Melania speaking began spreading rapidly online, with social media users intensely debating her English pronunciation and delivery style. Some critics mocked the First Lady's accent and speech pattern, flooding comment sections with harsh reactions and sarcastic remarks. Others defended her, arguing the attacks crossed the line into personal ridicule. The online debate escalated so quickly that Melania's speech became one of the most discussed political viral clips of the day, overshadowing much of the actual White House event itself.
And now it's my pleasure to introduce my husband, President Donald J. Trump.
Meanwhile, U.S. President Trump used the gathering to celebrate recent gains in the stock market before pivoting toward rising tensions involving Iran.
Look not so good. I want to thank all of you for being here. It's amazing, actually. And thank you, Melania. We're truly blessed to have such a First Lady. She's been so popular. She did a movie, it became #1. She then went to streaming, it became #1. And I say there's only room, remember this, for 1 star in a family, so I better get rid of that. That's not so good. But she's been amazing, and people love her, as you can see by the results, and that was a big thing today. Congratulations on that vote. She had a bipartisan vote. I should use you for some of the things I want to try and pass. But I join Melania in congratulating the House of Representatives on passing the Fostering the Future Act, which is a big deal, and this afternoon to modernize foster care, an issue close to the First Lady's heart, and hopefully it will quickly pass in the Senate. I'm sure it will. It's great. It's a great thing. And we have a war. We have something happening that we just hit. It's very interesting. 2.5 months ago, we hit the best numbers that we've ever hit as a country. Jobs, the best. Everything was the best. Stock market, the highest. And I called my people in. I called them in. I said, congratulations, everybody, but we're going to have to make a little journey down to a place called Iran. We have to stop them. They have nuclear on their mind, and we're not going to let them have a nuclear weapon. And we've done a hell of a job, and I think we're going to be finished with that very quickly, and they won't have a nuclear weapon, and hopefully we're going to get it done in a very nice manner. Factory construction, as you heard today, also is up. Housing starts are up, and consumer spending is up. All things, we have an economy. People aren't seeing it yet. When we inherited, when we started, we had the highest inflation in the history of our country, and we actually had, just before the war, before the energy forced other things up, but up or down, we had the best numbers. We had inflation was at 1.6% for the last 3 months just prior to the war, and now you're going to see numbers like that again. We inherited high prices, and we got the prices down, and we got them down to numbers that in some cases people have not seen before. But think of it, inflation at 1.6%. Manufacturing right now is booming. American companies are purchasing core capital goods at the highest amounts ever in the history of our country. Our previously wide open border is now the most secure border in the history of the United States of America. And last year, remember, we inherited a mess. And last year, we had the largest drop in murder rate ever recorded to the lowest level in 125 years. That's the year 1900. Think of that. And working alongside many of you, and you are unbelievable, the senators, the cabinet members. We have such a great cabinet, and all of the congressmen and women. You're the most incredible people, but working alongside of many of you here, we passed that. Very important. And again, remember, I went to John and I went to Mike. I went to a lot of the senators and congressmen and women, and I said, we can try and do this at one time, get 4 years worth. That's why we call it the great, big, beautiful bill. We can do it at one time, give it a shot, but everybody says it's impossible to get approved. Well, we got 4 years worth of goodies approved in a period of time, and at a period of time that they said would be impossible. And we're lucky we did, and it's gotten a little bit harder as time goes by. In fact, the only one that gets things approved now are Melania and her friends.